have never loved me. You have only thought it pleasant to be in love with me.
Nora, what do I hear you saying?
It is perfectly true, Torvald. When I was at home with Papa, he told me his opinion about everything. And so I had the same opinions. If I differed from him, I concealed the fact, because he would not have liked it. He called me his doll child, and he played with me just as I used to play with my dolls. And when I came here to live with you...
What sort of an expression is that to use about our marriage?
I mean that I was simply transferred from Papa's hands to yours. We've arranged everything according to your tastes, and so I have the same taste as you. Or else I've pretended to. I'm really not quite sure which. I think sometimes the one and sometimes the other. When I look back on it, it is as though I've been living here as a poor woman, just from hand to mouth. I have existed merely to perform tricks for you, Torvald. But you would have it so. You and Papa have committed a great sin against me. It is your fault I have made nothing of my life.
How unreasonable and how ungrateful you are, Nora. Have you not been happy here?
No. I haven't thought I was, but I have never been happy.
Not happy?
No. Only merry. And you have been so kind to me. But our home has been nothing but a playroom. I have been your doll wife, just as at home I was Papa's doll child. And here the children have been my dolls. I often thought it great fun when you played with me, just as they thought it great fun when I played with them. That is what our marriage has been, Torvald.
There is some truth in what you say, however exaggerated and strange your view of it is. But for the future, it will be different. Playtime shall be over, and lesson time shall begin.
Whose lessons, mine or the children's?
Both yours and the children's, my darling Nora.
Alas, you are not the man to educate me into being a proper wife for you.
And you can say that!
How am I fitted to bring up the children?
Nora!
Didn't you say so yourself, just a moment ago? That you dare not trust me to bring them up?
In a moment of anger, why do you pay any heed to that?
Indeed, you were quite right. I am not fit for the task. There is another task I must undertake first. I must stand quite alone if I'm to understand everything. I must educate myself. You are not the man to help me in that. And that is why I'm going to leave you now.
What do you say?
I must stand quite alone if I'm to learn everything about myself and all that is around me.
Nora!
I'm sure Christine will take me in for the night. And tomorrow I shall go home. I mean to my old home. It will be easiest for me to find something to do there.
You blind, foolish woman!
I must try and get some sense, Torvald.
So you forsake your home, your family, and your children? And you don't consider what people will think?
I cannot consider that at all. I only know that this is necessary for me.
It's shocking. So this is how you would neglect your most sacred of duties.
What do you consider my most sacred duties?
Do I need to tell you that? Are they not the duties to your husband and your children?
I have other duties just as sacred.
That you have not? What duties could those be?
Duties to myself.
Before all else, you are a wife and a mother.
I don't believe that any longer. I believe that before all else, I'm a reasonable human being. Or at all events, I must try and become one. I know quite well, Torvald, that most people would think you right, and that your view is the kind to be found in books. But I can no longer content myself with what most people think is right, or with what is found in books. I must think things over for myself and get to know them. That is why I cannot remain here any longer.
Can you not suppose you know your own position in your family? Have you no reliable guide in matters such as that? Have you no religion?
I'm afraid, Torvald, I do not know exactly what religion is.
Nora, what do I hear you saying?
I only know what the clergyman told me when I went to be confirmed. He told me that religion was this and that and the other. When I'm away from all this, and I'm alone, I will look into that matter as well. I will find if what the clergyman said is true, or if at all events, if it is true for me.
This is unheard of in a girl of your age. But if religion cannot lead you right, let me try and awaken your conscience. I assume you have some moral sense? Or answer me, am I to believe you have none?
I assure you, Torvald, that is not an easy question for me to answer. I really don't know. I only know that you and I look at it in quite a different light. I'm learning too that the law isn't quite another thing from what I thought it. According to it, a woman has no right to spare her dying father or to save her husband's life. I cannot believe that.
You think and talk like a child. You don't understand the conditions of the world in which you live.
No, I don't. But I'm going to try. I'm going to try and see if I can make out who is right, the world or I.
You are ill, Nora. You are delirious. I almost think you are out of your mind.
I've never felt my mind so clear and certain as tonight.
And it is with a clear and certain mind that you forsake your husband and your children?
Yes.
Then there is only one possible explanation.
What is that?
You do not love me anymore.
But that is just it.
Nora, you can say that.
It gives me great pain, Torvald, for you have always been so kind to me. But I cannot help it anymore. I do not love you.
Is that a clear and certain conviction too?
Yes, absolutely clear and certain.
Can you tell me what I have done to forfeit your love?
Yes, indeed I can. It was tonight, when the wonderful thing did not happen.
Explain yourself better. I don't understand you.
I have waited so patiently for 8 years. For goodness knows, I knew that wonderful things don't just happen every day. But when this horrible misfortune had come upon me, I was quite sure that the wonderful thing was going to happen at last. When Krogstad's letter was sitting out there, never for a moment did I consider that you would accept to this man's conditions. I was so absolutely certain that you would say to him, publish the thing to the whole world. And when that was done,
Yes, what then after I had exposed my wife to shame and disgrace?
I was so absolutely certain that you would take it upon yourself and say, I am the guilty one.
Nora!
You mean that I never would have accepted such a sacrifice on your part? Of course not. But what would my assurances have been worth against yours? That was the wonderful thing that I had hoped for and feared. And it was to prevent that I wanted to kill myself.
My dear Nora, I would gladly work night and day for you, bear sorrow and want for your sake. No man would sacrifice his honor for the one he loves.
It is a thing hundreds of thousands of women have done.
Oh, you think and talk like a heedless child.
Maybe. But you neither think nor talk like the man I could bind myself to. As soon as your fear was over, and it was not fear for what threatened me, but what for might happen to you. As soon as it was over, it was as if nothing at all had happened. I was your little skylark, your doll, which in future you would treat with doubly gentle care, because it was so brittle and fragile. Torvald, it was then that it dawned on me that for 8 years I have been living here with a strange man, and had borne him 4 children. I can't bear to think of it. I could tear myself into little bits.
I see. An abyss has opened between us. There's no denying it. Nora, would it not be possible to fill it up?
As I am now, I am no wife for you.
I have it in me to become a different man.
Perhaps, but only if your doll is taken away from you.
But to part from you, Nora. No, I can't understand that idea.
That makes it all the more certain that it must be done.
Not now, Nora. Wait until tomorrow.
I cannot spend the night in a strange man's room.
But can't we live here like brother and sister?
You know very well that would not last long. Goodbye, Torvald. I will not see the little ones. I know they're in better hands than mine. As I am now, I can be of no use to them.
But someday, Nora, someday.
How am I to tell? I have no idea what is going to become of me.
But you are my wife, no matter what becomes of you.
Listen to me, Torvald. I've heard that when a wife forsakes her husband's house, as I'm doing now, he is legally free from all his obligations towards her. And in any case, I free you from your obligations. You are not to feel yourself bound in the slightest way, no more than I shall. There should be perfect freedom on both sides. See, here is your ring back. Give me mine.
That too?
That too.
Here it is.
Now it is all over. I've put the keys away already. The maids know everything about what goes on in this house, even better than I shall. Tomorrow, when I've left her, Christine will come back and pack up the things that I brought with me from home. I'll have them sent after me.
All over. All over. Listen to me, Nora. Will you never think of me again?
I know I shall often think of you, and the children, and this house.
Nora, may I write to you?
No, Oh, never. You must not do that.
But at least let me send you.
No, nothing.
Let me help you if you're in want.
I can receive nothing from a strange man.
Nora, can I never be anything more than a stranger to you?
Torvald, the most wonderful thing of all would have to happen.
Tell me what that would be.
Both you and I would have to be so changed that... Oh, Torvald, I don't believe any longer in wonderful things happening.
But I will. Tell me, so changed that...
That our life together would be a real wedlock.